Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Colourpop first impressions video. As you guys probably know, Colourpop is one of my favorite makeup brands and I purchased way too much of their website. And I had a couple of things that I have never tried before sitting around, so I thought I would film a first impressions video. So most of the products that I use today are actually new to me and they are pretty new on the Colourpop website, so I thought it would be fun to try them out together and tell you guys what I think about it and just discover them together. So that is what we are going to do in today's video. I hope you really enjoy it. If you enjoy Colourpop videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and let's go ahead and get on into the tutorial. Alright, so I don't even know where to start. It has been over a month since I applied makeup. Well, I actually applied makeup yesterday, but it was very basic. So I hope I will still be able to pull this off. So the first thing I have here to try is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Prime and Set Kit. So this comes with a blending sponge, this one right here, which is already damp, and then also a hydrating hyaluronic primer and a hydrating hyaluronic setting mist. So I'm going to start off by using the primer, of course. So this is what that looks like. By the way, in today's video we are going to use a lot of the new Pretty Fresh range. It is not like new, I've had it for a while, but I haven't tried it out yet and it is pretty recent on their site. So they have a new foundation, a concealer, a primer, a setting spray, etc. So yeah, so this entire range is supposed to give you a very hydrating complexion, very luminous. It also says it has coconut water in it and hyaluronic acid, which does add hydration to the skin. So let's go ahead and try out the primer. It comes with a pump, which we really love. And then this is what it looks like. It has a very faint scent that is not too overpowering. Actually, it doesn't really smell like anything, to be honest. And it has a light pink color, so I'm just going to apply this all over my skin. Okay, that primer feels very hydrating, but that is basically it. That's all I can really say right now. It hydrated my skin really nicely. So far so good. It's hydrating. It feels like a good moisturizer, to be honest. But we love a good dewy complexion, so yeah. It makes my skin look healthy and that is what we love. So next we are moving on to foundation. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer. I picked up the shade Medium 9 Warm and this is the packaging. So this says it is a hydrating tinted moisturizer with skin perfecting lightweight coverage for fresh, healthy looking skin. It says to use the blender or fingertips to lightly dab and blend into skin. So once you take it out of the packaging, this is what it looks like. So it does come with a pump and it is a squeezy tube. I really love this packaging. I love that it has a pump that is very hygienic or however you pronounce it. So I'm going to apply half of my face with a brush, half of my face with a blender, just like I always do, and we'll see what I like best. So I'm going to first shake it up and then I'm going to pump about 2 pumps on the back of my hand. I have a feeling that this will be more of like a BB type like foundation, so it won't have a lot of coverage, but you never know, we will see. So I'm using my Sigma Flat Kabuki on this side of my face. Yeah, the coverage is very light on this, like extremely light. But again, it's not intended to be a full coverage foundation, so this was to be expected. Alright, so this is half of my face applied with the brush and this is it without. So you can tell that there is something here on my skin, but it's not full coverage. It didn't really cover anything. You can still see my blemishes on my chin, but again, it's not supposed to, and I actually really love the finish it has. It's very dewy but not too intense that you look very greasy. It definitely doesn't. The color is a pretty good match, but again, it's really easy to match yourself to something that is very sheer, but I do really like it. So now I'm going to use a sponge that came with the set and apply it on the other side of my skin. I do have a feeling that I will prefer the sponge to apply this. But let's see. So far I do really love the sponge. It applies it very easily. And I do really love that it has a flat side. So this is what the shape looks like. And I really love this flat side for foundation. Alright, so this is the side with the blending sponge and this is the side with the brush. Honestly, I don't think I see a difference. So in that case, I do prefer using a blender. So I'm just going to add a little bit more, but if you want to build it up, you're going to need a lot of this product. So this is perfect for days when you don't want a lot of makeup, those natural makeup days where you want to, you know, trick everybody into thinking that you're not wearing any makeup when in reality you do. So this is the perfect product for that. I don't know if it has SPF in it, that would be awesome. But so far I really like it. I'm just going to apply a little bit more and see if we can build it up. Yeah, it's not really a product that is very buildable. It remains very, very sheer and natural. But again, that is what it is supposed to be. So I'm not mad about it. This is actually really great and I think I would really enjoy wearing this in the summertime. Again, on those days where you don't want a lot of makeup but you do want to add a little bit of something on your skin, this would be perfect for that. And again, this is not called a foundation, it is called a tinted moisturizer for a reason. It is just supposed to add a nice sheer tint to the skin, which it does perfectly. So yeah, this is what that looks like on my skin. Next, in the Pretty Fresh range, we have the Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. I picked up the shade Light 45 Warm. So this is a long-wearing full coverage creamy concealer infused with hydrating ingredients for a natural fresh finish. That sounds amazing if you ask me. So this is what the packaging looks like. I do think it looks very beautiful. You have a light pink cap and yeah, I think it looks pretty. It is a little bit small and it comes with 6.5 grams, which is not that bad actually. And then this is what the wand looks like. So I'm going to apply a little bit, and by a little bit I mean a lot, underneath my eyes and then also on some blemishes that I might have. Ooh, this color is a little bit light for me, not going to lie. I did not color match myself very well on this. But we'll make it work just like that. And then I'm going to use the blender and blend it into my skin. I actually prefer the pointy side of the blender to blend it in. Right, so this is the concealer all blended in. I do really love the finish that it has, although I would prefer a little bit more coverage. Like you can still see my blemishes on my chin and underneath my eyes. It's still a little bit blue, but not too much. So the coverage is light to medium, I would say. Probably buildable, let's check it out. But I did a horrible job at color matching myself, but let's see if we can build it up a little bit. Yeah, I would say you can build it up a little bit to a good medium, but I don't think you would be able to build it up to a full coverage, but this is what that looks like. To set my concealer down, I have the Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder. This isn't new to me, however, I've used this a couple of times. This is in the shade Translucent. I'm going to be honest, this is not my favorite powder to set underneath my eyes, but I want to keep this a full Colourpop video, so I'm just going to buy through it and use this. It is a good powder to use on the face, but underneath my eyes where I have very dry skin, it's just not my favorite. So tapping out all of the creases and then setting it with some powder. I also use the concealer on my eyes as an eyeshadow primer for later on, so I am also going to set that in place before that creases. Right, just like that. And then to set the rest of my face in place, I'm going to use the No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder. So again, this is not new to me. I have the shade Medium and I actually really love this powder. As you can see, I've hit pan on it, so I already know that this is a favorite of mine and I'm really excited to use it again. Alright, now my skin is all nice and set. It's time to move on to bronzer. So I have this palette that I made myself, which has a few singles in it. So I have a blush, some bronzers, and some highlighters. So what I'm going to do is use the most cool tone shade as a contour and then use this one for my bronzer. So the most cool toned one is called, hold on, this is called Private Party. So I'm going to use this to contour my face. I'm going to be very light-handed with this because it does look a little bit too dark for me. Actually, I think it works for my skin. But again, I'm using a very small amount and a very light hand with it. Alright, just like that. And then for my bronzer, I'm using the shade Opening Act, which looks like this. And I'm just going to go ham with this and bronze up my skin. But by the way, I also wanted to mention that I have the Colourpop Coconut Beach bronzer, and this is actually one that I have been using a lot recently. It is one of my favorites, but it's not new to me, so I didn't want to use it in this video. But if you're looking for a good Colourpop bronzer, this is definitely it. Although I do really love this shade as well. It's just a little bit too warm for me, I think. It blends out beautifully though, but compared to this one, which is my favorite, this one is just way more warm toned. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave it at that before I go too overboard with my bronzer. Then for blush, I was going to use a single that I have in this palette, but I actually think it looks a little bit too cool toned for the look that I am going for today. So I'm going to use my trusty Colourpop Perk Up Cheek Blush. This was part of their peach collection. This is what that looks like. So I'm just going to use this one instead. I'm sorry, this is not a first impressions, but I just love this shade way too much. By the way, I did really enjoy the bronzers. I just color-wise prefer this one, but the formula is almost exactly the same. So it really depends on your skin tone and your preference. Moving on to highlight, I have this set from the new Colourpop Disney Designer Collection. This is called A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. So this is the Cinderella bundle that comes with, oh, this packaging is so cute. So this comes with a highlighter and then a, what is this called? A Luxe Liquid Lip, which we might use later on as well. But this is the highlight that comes in the set. It is called Horse and Carriage. And this is what it looks like. I did swatch it already, but it looks so freaking stunning. I mean, look at that. And to apply my highlighter, I always use a Colourpop brush. This is the small fluff brush, I think. So I'm just going to use this to apply my highlight. Ooh. That is very blinding. It's almost like wet looking. That looks so pretty. Wow. It's a little bit too cool toned for my liking, but wow, it is so intense and so like wet looking. I love that. 10 out of 10. Now I'm just going to blend that out using my blush brush without any additional product, just so that it doesn't look too harsh. Alright, moving on to eyebrows. If you've been following me for a while, you know what I'm going to use now. This is the Colourpop brow color in Taupe. This used to be my holy grail for so long. So this is just like a brow pomade. Now, to be completely honest, it has been over a year since I used this because I have switched to powder. But I'm going to give it another try. Let's just hope I don't mess it up. So I'm going to try and not use too much product, because with this brow pomade you can easily go overboard, and that's not the look we're going for. I also hope it's not dried out yet. No, I think it's still good to go. But if you like using pomades in your brows, this is such a good one. I love the formula. The shade is perfect for my eyebrows. So I would definitely recommend this. Again, not a first impression, but a tried and true. So I think I'm going to leave it at this because, again, I don't want to go overboard. Alright, so this is all that I'm going to do. And then to set my eyebrows in place, I am going to use a new product. This is the Brow Bond Gel, which is not new to me. But recently they added tinted brow gels. I always used to use the clear one and I was obsessed with that. So I picked up the shade Light Brown. So the packaging looks exactly the same, but I am really excited to try this out. This is what the color looks like. So yeah, let's go ahead and apply it. The color matches me pretty well if you ask me. This brow gel adds so much body to your eyebrows. It's really hard to explain, but I am obsessed with it. However, I think I still prefer the clear one. But I would have to try this one without any product underneath. Maybe this is a good one, again, for those no makeup days, to just comb through your brows really quickly. But the eyebrows are done. So now it is time to move on to eyeshadow. I had a really hard time picking which eyeshadow palette I wanted to use. I have three recent ones right here. So I have the So Jaded palette. I also have the Disney Midnight Masquerade. And then also the Going Coconuts palette. Honestly, if you would ask me, I am a neutral lover. I would use the Coconuts palette. But I asked you guys on Instagram to vote between these two palettes. And this is the one that won. So what I'm going to do is actually use this one and this one. Just a mixture of both. So the So Jaded palette will be for another video. So if you guys want a tutorial using this, let me know in the comments down below. Alright, so from the Disney palette, I'm going to use the shade Pip as my transition shade, this one right here. And to apply that, I also have a new brush bundle. This is the Juice WRLD brush bundle, which comes with a bunch of eyeshadow brushes. And I think this is part of their Orange You Glad collection, if I'm not mistaken. But these are the brushes that came in this set, so I'm going to use this one for my transition shade. And this is the E2 brush. Actually, no, this is not fluffy enough, so maybe... No, I'm going to use my own blending brush. This is the Sigma Tapered E35. And as you guys know, I've been a fan of Colourpop eyeshadows for a while now. They are usually pretty consistent in their formula, so I have a feeling I already know what I feel about these. They blend like a dream, they're super pigmented, and they just work really well. Sometimes you do have a little bit of fallout, but if you want great pigmentation, that is usually what you get. So I'm just blending the shade into my crease. And then to darken it up, I'm going to use the Going Coconuts palette and use the shade Shell Yeah, which is this one right here. And for that, I am going to use the Colourpop brush, the E2. And I'm just going to focus that a little bit lower than my transition shade. Taking my blending brush again and making sure that there are no harsh edges. And then for my outer V, I'm going to use the shade Get Cracking, which is this one right here. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, but we'll be able to make it work. And for that, I'm going to use the E13 brush from the set. And then again, taking my blending brush with a little bit of my transition shade to blend everything out. For my lower lash line, I'm going to use the shade Lovely Bunch and just smoke that out. And then for my lid shade, I'm going to use the shade Cocoa Crush, which is this one. And I'm just going to apply that using my fingers. Wow. And then for my inner corners and brow bone highlight, I'm using the shade Palm Reader, which is this one right here. And then lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter from the Disney palette, and I'm going to use the shade Floating Lantern, which is this shade. But before applying that, I am going to apply a little bit of my NYX Glitter Primer. This is the only non-Colourpop product that I'm going to use, but I don't have a glitter primer from Colourpop since it doesn't exist. So I'm just going to add a little bit on top and then pick up a little bit of the glitter with my fingers and apply that. I do have a little bit of glitter fallout on my face, so before we're going to set it, I'm going to brush it all away. And then to set my makeup in place, we are going back to the Pretty Fresh set, and I'm going to use the setting spray. So this is the Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist, which again has a very beautiful matte packaging. And I do want to see how it compares to my favorite Colourpop mist. This is the Fort Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist. It's Fort Ray Beauty, but it's basically a sister company. This is one of my favorite mists ever, so I want to see how it compares. This is very glowy and dewy, so yeah, let's see how this one works. Wow, this one has a very fine mist, which I absolutely adore. It smells like coconuts, it smells absolutely heavenly. I don't think it will add the same dewiness as the Fort Ray Beauty one does, but it does make my skin look very radiant and healthy. It definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I don't know what it does with the longevity of my makeup, but for setting it in place, I really enjoy it. For eyeliner, I have the Colourpop liquid liner in the shade Numero Uno, which is their black felt tip eyeliner. This is what the tip looks like. So I'm going to attempt to apply a very small line. I'm not going to wing it out because I cannot do it and it doesn't look good on me. So I'm just going to apply a very small black line. I'm also going to apply a little bit of nude eyeliner to my waterline. This is the Colourpop BFF Creme Gel Liner in the shade Honey Dude. This has been a favorite of mine for quite a while now, but I actually recently picked up a new one. Next up is mascara. I have the Colourpop BFF Volumizing Mascara in Black on Black. So this is their basic black mascara, and I am really excited to try this out. I've had this for a while now and I have been dying to try it. I haven't touched it yet. So this is what the packaging looks like, and then let's see what the wand looks like. So it is a pretty thick and big wand. Looks like that. So I am really excited to use it. So I'm going to apply one coat on this side and see what that does. Okay, usually I am pretty good at determining right away if I'm going to like a mascara or not, but with this one, I don't know. I don't have a very good feeling about it. So I'm going to apply another layer. So this is what 2 coats look like. Normally I have pretty voluminous eyelashes, so it should be more visible than this. So I'm going to do the other eye as well. Alright, so this is what 2 coats look like on each side. I'm going to just continue to build it up until it looks somewhat intense. Alright, so this is what the mascara looks like now. It's okay, it's not my favorite. I have other mascaras that I love more than this one, so it's not something that I'm going to repurchase. It's average for my eyelashes, but I know that mascara is very personal, so maybe you will like it, but for me, this is like one of the few things in this video that I didn't really enjoy. But now it's time to move on to my favorite part, which is lipstick. So I do want to try out the new Luxe Liquid Lip. I'm not sure this color is going to match the eyes, but we will see. So this is in the shade Prince Charming. This is what the packaging looks like. Again, it is very small compared to the regular liquid lipsticks. Hold on. As you can see, it is chubbier, but it is smaller. And then this is what the wand looks like, so it's slightly curved. So yeah, I'm going to apply the shade and hopefully it matches the eyes. Okay, my battery just died, but I put in a new one. But this is what the lip looks like. I like this shade, it's just not really going with the eyes in my opinion, and it's not the vibe that I am going for. However, about the formula, it's very lightweight. It reminds me of the blotted lips, except for the fact that I don't think they will be transfer proof, so they are not. So for that reason I do prefer the blotted lips, but this is more comfortable to wear if that is something you're looking for. But I feel like wearing a gloss today, so on top of this I'm going to apply the Brown Sugar Ultra Glossy Lip, which I have never tried. This is in the shade Dumpling. So this is what that looks like. I hope they still have this on the website. I purchased this a while ago, so not really sure. And this is what the wand looks like. So I'm just going to apply this on top of it and hope that it doesn't really clash too much. Alright, so that made it look a little bit more peachy. And I do really love this combo actually. Yeah, I like that. And that actually wraps up this first impressions tutorial on some new Colourpop products. I love how the look turned out. I love the complexion, everything blended beautifully on top. I think I love everything except for the mascara, which was a no-go for me. But aside from that, I do really love the end result. And I hope you do too. So that is actually it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you are not already. It would mean the world to me. I love you. And I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.